But there's some other idols too that we don't often read about. Might be materialism. Might be what money can buy. Might even be power and authority when you're in a position of leadership. All different things that in our worst moments we lean on, we turn to. You'll do it. And God challenges us to think about again, what is it that's brought us from where we were to where we are now? What brought me from a 10-year-old that had some seed sown in his heart to where I am today? Yes, I remember his love. Yes, I remember in my mind that the things I reach out for. But are they the things? Are they the things that I can lean on, that he has put there? You know, problems have a purpose. They drive us to his presence. And there's nothing that his presence cannot heal. Nothing. So I'm really hassled today, stressed out today. I'm going to share that with some of the folks in our communities. We're doing some wonderful stuff with one of the gang chapters of the Mongol Mob, the notorious, the Auckland branch of the notorious chapter. Been walking with them for 14 years. And just this month we've got 20 of their kids that are starting homeschooling, preschool kids. They're starting homeschool, and family members are the caregivers, and we'll come in with professional early childhood teachers and walk with them and learning how to care and how to educate their children. You know, the effect of that is this, that their leader is saying, how can we do this nationally? How can we roll this out throughout the country? Amazing stuff. And they did it. 14 years of trying to envisage a different tomorrow, where Roy Dunn, who is their leader, their president, said this: there was a time when to love our children, to show affection to our children, was a sign of weakness. Isn't that incredible? That the gang culture of being alienated from society and ethnic society, and of choosing to turn their back on all the values of mainstream, to care for your children was a sign of weakness. And so he said, now we can love our kids. We can hug our kids. Amazing stuff. So, if you are pleased with me, teach me your ways. You know, the works of our hands and our education, knowledge, experience, technology, human resources are never, ever going to be enough to do the work of the kingdom. We need to know God's ways for a new season. Wherever he's calling us from, we're going to need to know his provision for that time. He's brought you this far, you've come this far by faith, and we see the fruit and we celebrate that. And we thank God for where he's brought you from to where you are now. But there's a new horizon out there, people, and he's going to give you some new things to do that. You can know God's ways for a new season, to uncover, disclose, communicate those hidden things that only he can show us. I had no idea that I'd be doing this sort of stuff 30 years ago. My wife and I were crazy enough to fall in love. In 1971 we got married. But we had a deep sense that we were called together as a couple to follow Jesus. So we just said, okay, Lord, and here we are today. No idea then. But you know, all that we'd learned, she was a school teacher and I was a house painter, and as good as all of that is, would never have been enough to bring us to where we are today. He's equipped us and enabled us with different things along the journey. And I know that the season that lies ahead for Thelma and for me, that all the stuff that we've gathered along the way, the good, the bad, and the ugly, will never be enough, will never be sufficient to fulfill his purpose for us tomorrow. He will enable us with those things that we need. So I may know you will continue to find favor with you, to know the way God thinks about us and our future, that we're designed and created with purpose. Yet in our mother's womb, he knew us, he knows us, by name, that I may know you, the way that he thinks about me. What does he think about you as a movement? Is he pleased with you? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what he's taught me over the years? To never judge myself by my failings. Never. Judge myself in the light of the cross. Let me say that again. Never judge myself by my failings, but judge me in the light of the cross, where Jesus took all of that stuff and he nailed it to the cross and he set me free. And all that he intended for me is a reality in his heart. And I'm on a journey of discovering that what that could look like. That's my future. Because he knows me. Continue to find favor with you. God's continued favor is not to be taken for granted. You're called to pastor today, to teach, to evangelize, to deliver, to save, to serve. We need to know God's favor on us. As much as the sort of age that I'm at now, can see amazing opportunities that are out there in our communities that will bring about what I call holistic transformational development, HTD. And it is an approach to development that is so far removed from community development that's sort of seen and known and practiced within our communities. But when I look at that, in the light of what God's intentions are, we work with community for that purpose. Sowing seeds, creating an environment where that seed can grow. Trusting God to do whatever he wants to do in that person's life, that community's life. And I know that God has called me to that. But often I see, goodness me, we need to resource staff. And I wish I was a businessman. So, every now and again I've got to go with it and be total failure. Ask my wife. Ask my kids. Because his favor on me isn't to be a businessman. It might be on you. Some of you are here today. God's called you to that, to resource the kingdom. But we need to sit down together. We don't do it on our own. And we share our stories so that we can see where and how and when. Talk a little bit about that. But we need to be able to say what we know we are. Lord, I am a pastor. You call me to be a minister. I own that. And I thank you for that call. And I commit my life and my time and whatever, all that I am, I commit to the purpose. I'm called to serve. We have some wonderful people who are musicians. And they lead us in that kind of way, and we need them. We have people who serve. They're out the back doing all the stuff. There's a, kind of a saying among Māori that if the back is going well, the front will go well. And that's a truism. Thelma and who else was there? 3 or 4 others of our family. The rest of the kids had gone off to do stuff with their in-laws. And the phone rings. And it's a young man, he's 48. He's 38. He just got out of jail. New Year's Day. Nowhere to go. In fact, he sent a text to my daughter first and she said, ring Dad. I said, thanks very much. Why did you spoil your lunch? And she said, ring him this morning. No, I didn't say that. But I said to Thelma, I said, honey, Jesus wants to come and have lunch with us again today. Gotta go pick up this guy from jail. She just smiled. Because we learned a wonderful lesson some time ago. We're a young couple, and Thelma was expecting it. This guy comes around, just got out of jail, and probably we were living down in the hut, but just got out of jail, and I used to go up to the prison and open my big mouth and say, if you ever need help coming in, make contact with us, so he did. I got a mate from work, and so he'd been at home all afternoon with Thelma. And he sat outside, even though she'd invited him, and he said, no, I'll wait till Sam comes back. So I get back about 7 o'clock, we sit down to have a meal together by midnight.